Here we go then to the all-important lights. 3, 4, 5 lights. Wind them up and let them go. Can the Mercedes keep hold of that start? Oh, my goodness me, the Haas getting very, very squirrely. The Mercedes has had a good start. The Red Bull is there. The Ferrari is trying to fend off the Force India. Gemso is trying to get on the inside of turn 1. Doesn't quite get through. And there's a bit of carbon fiber flying off. I think it was the McLaren that has come rid of this. Jim Nardi, the swapping position with Car Alex there. And up at the front then, the Mercedes is holding on. That's Flores that is keeping a good job of holding off the Red Bull. The Ferrari is really keeping the pressure on. That's Etiven that is in second. Aresi 3 on board then with Fitzgerald in the Renault. He's just come through turn 9 and he's heading down towards that hairpin. He's got a decent run on the Force India, having a look on the inside, but chooses not to make the move. Then look at that, there's 2, 3 and 4, exactly as we had on Monday. The leader beginning to stretch his legs a little bit. That's nearly a second that Flores already has, and the Renault trying to get a lovely switchback on the Force India of Gemso. Doesn't quite do it, and Gemso's actually gone into the pits, it seems, so not a great start for him. So Fitzgerald now up to 5th position, and that you can see Cosmic Gala and Jim Nardi side by side heading down to the first turn for the second lap. Mercedes leads Red Bull, leads Ferrari, leads Toro Rosso. It does look like Flores has got a fair bit of work to do, and there you can see in the background the Renault is Jim Nardi is fending off Cosmic Gala, trying to hang on to, oh, beg your pardon, that's Fitzgerald holding off Jim Nardi there for that 5th position. But all eyes at the moment on the Toro Rosso as he gets the tail very, very much hanging out there on the exit of turn 4. He's trying to keep the pressure on the Ferrari, and that's Aresi then that is actually falling back away from Etiven, and Flores has managed to break that very crucial 1 second gap between himself and Etiven. And looking back, you can see that's the Renault and of Fitzgerald and Jim Nardi side by side. There's the Haas and the Renault coming into turn 1 together. It does look like Jim Nardi's going to get the job done. He does indeed. That is him up to 5th position.
This is a very close battle for that 2nd place position.
Absolutely. It's rather a repeat of what we've seen. And Aresi has actually come in along with Nico Fury. Now, I think that was a very late call by the Toro Rosso.
It looked like it, didn't it?
Yeah, I think he's just mimicking what Aresi did. But I mean, yeah, that's earlier than Flores and Etiven have decided to do. And actually, Fitzgerald and Cosmic Guile and Car Alex all coming in at the same time.
Mercedes does indeed dive for the pit lane. I imagine Etiven will be following him through, and he does indeed. So the 2 leaders come into the pits, and we'll see where they feed out compared to this man here, Aresi 91 in the Ferrari, making his way through Sector 3 now into the downhill right-hander and into the chicane for the 9th time in the Spanish Grand Prix. Lovely overhead shots, and you can just see that gap that he's built to Nico Fiore in the background there. You could just about see the Toro Rosso in the distance there as he makes his way through the final corner now, and it looks like they're still in the pits. Flores and Etiven, where are they going to come out relative? There's the Mercedes coming out now. But it looks like Etiven is in fact going to lose that position, but Flores is going to hold on to a relatively comfortable lead, actually. Yeah, it's still over 1 second, the deficit.
Aresi is falling away a little bit from the back of Flores. Oh, again, another massive snap of overstep by the Toro Rosso. That could well put Jim Nardi in the Haas right on his case. And indeed it does. It's now less than 3/10. There is the external shot. Of course, both the Toro Rosso and the Haas having DRS. That's going to help Nico defend the position, which he does. But that Haas is now very, very close. That is not what Nico Fury wanted. He pushed that a little bit too hard.
Nico Fury, I think he's definitely out of the DRS zone now. Yep, I'm not seeing the DRS open on that Toro Rosso, so he could definitely be coming under threat here. He needs a really good Sector 3, not just to get back within the DRS of the Red Bull ahead of him, but to try and break the DRS from the Haas behind if he can. And again, that Renault of Sorrow really not far behind either. So if they start doing side-by-side battling, then that could bring him involved, and they could just fall even further away from the podium positions.
I think the Red Bull of Etiven had a fairly bad run through that last turn, but Nico Fury didn't have a good run either. Here comes the Haas of Jim Nardi. He's going to have a look at the inside of turn 1. Can't quite get the move done, and well defended then by Nico Fury, but that will put him slightly offline. It's coming through turn 3, although he did hold that one pretty well, and the Haas keeps in contention for that 4th position. Here's a replay of the last attempt that Nardi made into turn 1. DRS open. There he goes. That was where he got side by side, but very well defended by the Toro Rosso. Great clean racing by the pair of them.
Looking back a little bit further, Gemso is actually caught up to the back of Cosmic Guile for 7th position. And he's running pretty close to the back of him into turn 4, practically pushing the McLaren through. Lovely shots here coming out of turn 4 and down the hill into turn 5 into the hairpin. And he's very, very close through there as well, too. It looks like he's just practically pushing the McLaren all throughout the circuit. He's trying to find a place to get by, but that's not an easy thing to do at the Circuit de Catalunya. He'll have an opportunity here into turn 10. He'll need a good run through turn 9, though, picking up, of course, all that dirty air, just the car washing out wide and picking up all that understeer. Closing in now, but it's not going to be enough as they get into the braking zone now for the turn 10 hairpin. A bit wide for the McLaren of Cosmic Guile as they get the white flag this time by lap 17 out of 17, the final lap at the Circuit de Catalunya for the F1 2018 Esports. And really looking forward to see how this one is going to shape up. But that was probably the last best attempt, was into turn 1 just now, and Gemzo knows that, so that's why he's going to shoot up the inside in the Force India and take that 7th place position.
This man, once again, Flores coming through the last few turns, out of turn 16, has had no challenge all race long. It is pole to flag for Flores then in the Mercedes. Resi is going to come across the line of the Ferrari for second. Itaven does indeed take third. Jim was just over a second behind, and look at this. No one is giving up. That's Carl Alex in the Sauber, trying to do what he can against Cosmic Guile in the McLaren. They're going to come through the final turn. It does look like they're going to finish where they stand.